Hello everyone, Happy New Year! I hope you all survived the holidays with too much food and family. If you're new to my channel, my name is Chlorophyll, but you can call me Phil, and I'm from the AquascapeGuide.com. In this video, I wanted to show you what we got for our nano tank. Caridina shrimps! Just look at these little poopers. Aren't they cute? And this little guy, they always just look so busy. Like, what is this guy doing? Sir, can you answer a question for me, sir? Sir, please, will you stop and answer a few questions? Sir, where are you going, sir? She's like, I got shrimp stuff to do. These guys are so much fun. I wanted to take you along for the ride. But first, let's address, what the heck is a Caridina shrimp? Well, there are two breeds of freshwater shrimp from Taiwan. Caridina, or Neos for short, and Caridina. Most hobbyists start out with keeping Neos because they like harder water, and most people's tap water is harder, so it makes them easy to keep. But Caridina likes soft water. This makes hobbyists think that they are harder to keep, because most of the time, we need to know how to adjust our tank's water chemistry to make it habitable for them. But if you've watched our water chemistry video, link in the description below, adjusting your water chemistry should be pretty easy. Caridina like a GH between 5 and 7, and a KH between 0 and 2, which should naturally put the pH around a 6.6 to a 6.8. I wouldn't focus a ton on pH, as it'll fall into place when you get your GH and KH where they need to be. Now these are generic ranges for the breed. What I suggest you do is talk to your breeder and match the GH and KH they have in their tanks. This will make the shrimp's transition into your tank a lot smoother. I specifically wanted Caridina shrimp because they look like little candy cane dudes. I think their official name is Crystal Red Caridina, don't quote me on that, but I just call them little candy cane shrimps, because why not? Now we have no affiliation with this company, but if you're looking to order shrimps, we highly suggest checking out flipaquatics.com. They have a huge selection of shrimp like Neos, Caridina, and everything needed to set up a shrimp tank. We've had great success purchasing from them in the past. So a huge shout out goes to you guys at Flip Aquatics. Okay, so we have our shrimp now. How the heck do we acclimate them to our tank? Shrimps can deal with a wide variety of water parameters. However, the one thing they really don't like is rapid change in either their GH and KH or water temperature. So we need to do two things when we get them. One, we need to make sure that the GH and KH in our tank is as close as possible to the water parameters of our breeders. Well, again, as close as possible. If your breeder cannot give you their water parameters, which happens, then jump on flipaquatics.com and see what they suggest for appropriate ranges for the shrimps you've purchased. Matching your breeder's GH and KH will help ensure we don't shock the shrimp with vastly different water parameters. And two, we want to drip acclimate the shrimp for an hour or two. Drip acclimating slowly adjusts the shrimp to your tank's water chemistry and temperatures. So toss your shrimp and the water they came in a large bowl or bucket. This will be your drip container. Then we need to get some air tubing, pop one end into your tank, and tie a knot on the other end. What we're going to do is create a siphon pulling water out of the tank and drip it directly into our drip container. We are looking for about 1 to 2 drops a second. The tighter the knot at the end of the tube, the slower the drip will be. Once we've got that drip all dialed in, all we need to do is wait. And to be frank, if you've already matched the GH and KH from your breeder, this is more of a temperature adjustment, so you can shorten the duration of the drip down to about 30 minutes. I mean, you could also just float the bag in your tank, but this assures if there's anything else in your tank's water that they acclimate to that as well. If you were not able to match the GH and KH of your breeder's tanks, then drip for the full 1 to 2 hours. Once the dripping process is over, we scoop them out with a net and toss them in our tank. Yay! Look at them. They're happier than a kid at a candy store. Or should I say, a kid at a candy cane store. So this leads us to, how do we take care of these little poopers? So the 3 things we've found to keep shrimp really happy so far, regardless of whether or not they're Neo or Caridinas, is 1, water changes, 2, water parameters, and 3, supplemental feedings. So for water changes, we suggest 10 to 15% weekly. During these changes, we want to suck out all the little poops these little guys create. Trust me, these guys are little poop factories for sure. Water changes help reduce dissolved organic compounds, or DOCs for short, and reduce nitrates. We don't want our water squeaky clean, but we also don't want a lot of DOCs building up over time. And water changes also replenish much needed minerals like calcium. So there's no need to be tossing weird things into our tank like calcium carbonate, also known as crushed coral or cuttlebone. And this leads me to water parameters. If the GH and KH is where it needs to be for the breed of shrimp you're keeping, and you're also processing water changes, shrimps will have all the minerals they need to thrive. And again, you definitely don't want to toss calcium carbonate into a Caridina tank. It will definitely wipe out your colony as it dissolves, jacking up your tank's GH, KH, and pH uncontrollably. And as we talked about earlier, temperature is another thing we want to make sure we keep stable. We ran into this issue with not having a heater on our nano tank. Because we're in a cooler climate, the tank was sitting around 64 to 65 degrees for a while, which resulted in a couple of deaths and no breeding. As soon as we added a nano heater into the tank, the deaths subsided. The shrimp are much more active and hopefully they start breeding. We generally like to keep our tanks around 73 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. This helps prolong the life of the shrimp, and cooler temperatures also suppress algae in a planted tank. And the last little point worth mentioning is supplemental feeding. We like to feed our shrimp tanks twice a week with Shrimp King Complete, but make sure we don't add more food than the shrimp can eat within a 5 to 10 minute time period. If the food is sitting there after this time period and the shrimp are not interested in eating it, then we want to remove it. We don't want uneaten food rotting in the tank. We also like to dose Bacter AE 1 to 2 times a week. This helps develop a biofilm, which the shrimp and the babies love. We learned a little trick about getting it to dissolve into the water, which we'll share in another little video. Lastly, you can feed your shrimp organic veggies, but there is a chance you could be introducing something weird like chemicals or bugs into your tank. Not that there's something wrong with feeding organic foods, but we're just big fans of sticking with products that are designed specifically for aquarium use. And that's pretty much it. Just keep up on your water changes, make sure their GH and KH and temperature are all fine, and feed them once in a while. They'll be happy and breeding in no time. Man, we just can't get over how cute these little guys are. If you're thinking about setting up a small tank, around 2 to 5 gallons, a little shrimp tank is the way to go. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button for us to let us know, and subscribe for more. We gotta go feed these little poopers, so we'll see you in the next video. Later, scapers!